Welcome to The Terrible Take, a mini podcast telling Steelers Nation what's on our mind. I'm Dave Bryan. The Pittsburgh Steelers have now moved their 2021 training camp to Heinz Field, and starting on Wednesday, we'll begin getting first-hand practice reports from our very own Alex Kozora. Ahead of the team's first padded practice of 2021 taking place on Wednesday, I quickly threw together a list of 5 non-rookie Steelers players I'm most excited to hear about and watch during the remainder of the summer. My first one has to be James Pierre. After an offseason that included Pierre making several plays in shorts, I'm interested to see if the Florida Atlantic product can continue doing just that when the pads are on in training camp. The fact that Pierre stuck on the 53-man roster as a rookie undrafted free agent last year was quite remarkable. His limited defensive snaps that he played late last season also included a few bright spots. Can Pierre force himself into the outside sub-package cornerback spot with a solid camp in preseason? We'll see. If he makes enough plays in the next 40-something days, he'll be hard to keep off the field. It sure would be nice to see the Steelers hit big on an undrafted free agent cornerback after all the misses they have had in drafts since Colbert arrived. Remember the most recent selections of Artie Burns, Sinquez Golson, Duran Grant, Shaquille Richardson, Terry Hawthorne, Terrence Frederick, Curtis Brown, and Cortez Allen and Creston Butler? Only Allen turned out to be something of that group, and even he didn't last too long in the plus column. Yes, Colbert seems to have hit on Cameron Sutton, and thanks goodness for that. Hitting on Pierre would be huge, and especially if 2021 winds up being the final season for veteran cornerback Joe Hayden. Fingers are crossed. My second player is yet another young defensive back, Antoine Brooks Jr., the team's 6th-round draft pick last year out of Maryland. With camp getting underway, it sure seems like Brooks will be given every chance possible to be the Steelers' 2021 replacement for Mike Hilton at the starting nickel cornerback spot. Brooks barely played on defense in 2020, and so with there being no preseason games or public access to training camp practices in 2020, this summer will really be our first extended look at Brooks. The Steelers lost cornerback Mike Hilton in free agency, and thus the team has big shoes to fill when it comes to the role he played in the defense. Can Brooks be the player to fill those shoes? We'll find out in the next 40-something days. Chukwuma Okorafor is the next player I'm looking forward to seeing progress throughout the summer. He's making a move to left tackle this year, and that's his more natural side. Okorafor is now in the final year of his rookie contract, so it's a big season for him. Steelers general manager Kevin Colbert seems to think Okorafor moving to the left side will go well for him. We'll see. While Okorafor might not log a lot of playing time early in the preseason, he's going to get some during the exhibition games and as well as during training camp and practices. Can he be a much better left tackle this summer than he's been a right tackle his first 3 seasons in the NFL? We are about to find out. 2 other non-rookie players I will round this 5 out with are running back Anthony Mcfarland Jr. and defensive tackle Carlos Davis. Both players, like Pierre and Brooks I previously mentioned, are second-year players and neither received a lot of snaps as rookies. I watched a lot of college tape on Mcfarland from his time at Maryland, so I think I know him pretty well. Even so, I'm interested to see if he can show a big jump as an NFL player this summer. The same essentially goes for Davis, who I think the Steelers are hoping can become their heir apparent to Tyson Alualu. So, there are my top 5 non-rookies ahead of training camp starting. How different is your 5 from mine? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to follow us at SteelersDepot.com and check out episodes of The Terrible Take every weekday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And check out The Terrible Podcast with myself and Alex Kozora every Tuesday and Friday.